So guys, with the launch of Chapter 4 Season 2, we have lots of new drop spots and I'm going to be covering them since we have a couple of tournaments coming up. We have the Duos Cash Cup and the Duos Field Cup. Not only that, you want to get your arena points up, not get contested and all of that. So let's get into the first drop spot. For the first drop spot, we're on this little island over here. It's next to Slappy Shores and Knotty Nets. As you can see, there's lots of bamboo around, so it's hard to miss. You have two geysers on this island, two chests that spawn here. Probably not a guaranteed spawn, but you know they will be spawning there. Then if you go down here, you can actually get some bricks. So from the bamboo, you're obviously going to get lots of wood. You have some slurp barrels and a slap barrel there, so you can get the sprinting thing. Now let's move on to the middle of the island. So on the beach kind of side, you have a boat that spawns here. You have a campfire and then also a fishing spot. So if you're really weak, you can use them and then the boat to get away. Then when you go up to the top of the island, you actually have a slurp truck that spawns in the bamboo, a couple of slurp barrels and a hollow chest, which is pretty good if you do have the keys. So we've only covered half of this island and you already know you're going to get lots of wood, lots of brick, full shield, and you have a reboot van over here. So if you do land here in duos or trios, then you can reboot some of your members, but I'd recommend landing here in only solos and duos because it's not the biggest of islands. Contested wise, you'll probably get two teams coming here. Not highly contested, but you know you do want to get some points as well during your tournaments. Now let's move on to the top of the island. So at the top of the island, you have the other geyser and then you have another chest that spawns here. Bamboo all around once again. You can use the geysers to rotate away or just run away if you do get contested and you get no guns. But then if you do have guns, you're full shielded up, you can use that to push teams and then go down here. You can push a couple people down there. There's Knotty Nets down there, so it's a name POI, you definitely get some people there, get some kills. As you know, there's lots of bamboo around, so you can actually sneak up on your opponents, but be careful, people can sneak up on you. But yeah, if you want to get a couple cheeky shots, then you can do it. But also another thing about this island, obviously there is bamboo around and it's going to be hard to build here, so if you do get into a fight, definitely be careful of that. Anyways, let's move on to the next drop spot. Moving on to drop spot number 2, we have this gas station over here. Gas stations are quite contested in arena and in tournaments, so do be careful of actually landing here. But loot wise, you have lots of loot. You have a slurp truck here, you have a car and a motorbike here. They're all guaranteed spawns. You also have the hollow chest, so if you do pick up the keys, you can get some good loot with that. And then you also actually have a reboot van here, so it could be a good duo spot. Trio spot once again, I don't think it will be the best, but definitely solos and duos. Vending machine, you have the fences around to get some metal as well, which is pretty good since there isn't much metal in the game. But like I said, it will be quite contested. I think about probably 2 or 3 people will be landing with you, but if not, then you'll be chilling. This drop spot is located near Knotty Nets. You also have lots of wood around, so you can mine up that, and then the metal I mentioned earlier with the gates, and then you have some brick up on this hill. So decent mats. Loot wise, I'll pop up all the stats for this place on the screen right now, so all the chests, all the slurp barrels and all of that. If you want to be an aggressive player, you can push over to Mega City. It's literally the biggest POI in the game, but like I said, you will get contested here. If not, you're a lucky guy. And then there is another POI behind you, I can't pronounce the name, but yeah, there you go. Now let's move on to the second drop spot. For the third drop spot is at the edge of Steamy Springs over here. Lots of bamboo once again, so it's hard to miss. And it's also on a small island once again. You want to actually skim past all the bamboo, and then over here you have 4 chests. But this is a guaranteed spawn. Probably on a usual spawn it'll be 2 or 3, but still decent amount of chests. You also have an ice core over here, so you can get chugs, slap juice, whatever you want. Brick here to mine up as well. Now let's go up to the other part of the island. If you do land on this island, I recommend landing at this little house over here, because if you land on the chest, you'll be vulnerable and just in the open, easy to kill. So you can go into here, there's slap juices, so you can get the full sprint, ice cooler boxes, ammo boxes, and then chests all around. I'll pop up the stats of all the chests and all of that on the screen for you guys once again. You will most likely be contested by 1 or 2 people. I recommend landing here in solos or duos, not trios once again. Don't worry, I will get a trio spot for you guys, but this spot, yeah, trios just ain't gonna cut it. The loot isn't the best, but for solos in tournaments, it's definitely a good spot to land. Just be careful, don't mess up your drop, because then you could get eliminated easily. You have lots of wood around, you got the bamboo, you got some bricks around. You also have some water over here so you can fish up or just rotate away. And then we have another spot down here that I'm actually going to talk about that's joined up with this spot. So if you rotate away from this island, you have these swords down here, so you can actually get the kinetic sword. Just get it, bam, and then you can rotate wherever you want to go. And these swords are definitely going to be good in arena and in the tournaments, just to get your placement points and to rotate in general. Now let's move on to the next spot. Moving on to the fourth drop spot is this little house over here. It's next to Mega City, so it's very obvious to find. This spot is actually a solo, duo and trio spot. Finally, you have the hollow chest over here, you have some slab juices over there so you can sprint as well. Another thing about the spot is you can actually get the kinetic blade here. There's only one, I'm pretty sure. If not, I will pop it up on the screen, but it's right at the top. You have two chests over here that spawn as well. Obviously not a guaranteed spawn. Quite a big house, probably one or two teams will be contested you like the other spots, but it won't be overly contested since it's not a POI location. Couple chests in the house, as you can see. There's also a reboot van here, so like I said, if you do land in duos or trios, you can reboot your members. You have the hollow keys as well, so if you do get lucky with the keys, you can get them, get the good loot. Quite a lot of ground loot as well. You have bamboo, trees and brick all around, so decent mats for this place. Rotation wise, you can rotate over to Mega City. You also have this massive hill up here, so you can get high ground. There'll probably be a couple teams up that hill as well. You have a couple POIs around you as well, so if you do want to get some extra kills, if no one landed with you, you can definitely push over to these other drop spots. Loot wise, I'll pop up the stats for this place, like all the chests and all of that, just so you guys know the total spawns. Now let's move on to the last drop spot. For the final drop spot, it's actually right next to Mega City and near the last drop spot, but it's on this hill over here. You have a geyser, lots of fishing spots, a reboot van. It probably will be highly contested, but a good thing about the spot, you have this house over here, and not only that, you have the house down there. So I'll get into some detail about this spot. So when you walk into this house, you have the slap juice again, ice cooler and all of that same stuff again, a couple chests. So decent loot for solos and duos. I think solos will be probably the best one for this. Now let's go down to this house over here. If I was to land this spot, I would probably land down here, loot up and then maybe dip away or fight if I am ready. Slap juice again, couple of chests, I'll pop up all the stats, all of that. Hollow key chests over here, another chest. Let me just break out here. So if you actually do manage to get a kinetic blade, you can just rotate all around, push over to there, mine up all this wood, and there's lots of brick around as well. If you are an aggressive player, you can literally just push right to Mega City. It's literally right next to it, so that's pretty cool as well. Also, not to mention, you are on high ground, so if someone does try to push you, you can just, you know, get the high ground advantage. You can probably box up here, maybe get next ring as well. I've noticed that lots of the new POIs have actually been pulling ring, so maybe you could be lucky enough to pull ring, box up here, and you're just set for the zones and be chilling. Alright everyone, we're going to wrap up the video there. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I only covered the new POIs and spots just because I'm sure you guys know the other spots. If not, comment down below and I'll do all the other spots as well. See you in the next video guys. Peace.